Peace, family. We back. I'm waiting on everybody to come back in. Sheesh.
Good,
They
stop shit.
tweaking. Now, yeah, they tweaking, bro. They
Yeah.
tweaking hard.
It's
But we
always some
back.
copyright bullshit.
Yeah, man. And look what was deep. We didn't played all type of clips of Flash and all type of stuff on here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But it's like when you really trying to get the work in, they're like, actually,
uh-huh.
no.
Yeah, straight hating.
And
Crazy.
I'm about to say that mug was basically the episode. You know what I'm saying? If you was paying
Yeah,
attention to
exactly.
it.
Right.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
putting me through so much myself. I had to really like put myself back to concentrate. Like you gotta pay attention though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
was getting into it like I was watching a movie.
Hmm.
Nah, I say. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not
We
even
tap
like, like I said, the numbers guy on that type of time, but we definitely gonna kind of chill real quick and let not really chill, but we're gonna wait, let the numbers, let everybody get back in.
we right back.
Um,
We right back, man.
yeah.
It's here.
Now
We
they're going
good.
right back. No, it's facts. The trial is
Yeah.
right back in here. Man, what's up on point, man? I ain't trying to call you out on the live, bro, but we need to talk, bro. You my brother, you know what I'm talking about? We need to tap in. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the guys, man. Y'all gotta tap
Shout
in
out to
on
my
point,
guy on
man.
point.
He
Yeah,
he he,
sir.
he one of the OGs, man. You know what I'm saying? Shadow Work Sunday OGs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Peace of the tribe. So we about to get right into it. Y'all saw the video. Y'all saw a good amount of it, from what I would like to think. So you kind of get the point. And at the end of the video, basically, sadness took over, and the child was actually able to cry and to release and not be angry and feel. And truthfully, when the child was expressing his feelings to his parents, it was about his passions. You're taking away my passions. I want to play hockey. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like so, their passion was being attacked, which a lot of our as kids, as children, our passion gets suppressed. We get called crazy. We called doing too much. A lot of black children get put on like Adderall, and they try to put me on medicine. I wasn't going for it. Like, why? What do I need that for, bro? Because I got more energy than the next person. You know what I mean? Like, so, um, y'all should go watch the movie. That's homework. Go watch Inside Out. And you can watch it with your babies as well. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Um,
Very powerful.
there's some light in their inner child. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. So let's not wait. Let's get right into it. So we're gonna start this episode off. Oh, actually, I have an announcement to make. I'm going back to my notes. I had to write all this stuff down, or I would have got right to it. So this Thursday on Instagram, um, at if I'm not mistaken, 5:33 between 4:33 and 5:33. You can confirm that with the promo when you see the promo this coming up week. But I will actually be starting a podcast with Kanacia, the wife of creation. She was a special guest maybe a few months back, a powerful episode on awareness. And so we will actually be starting the podcast starting on Instagram. So if you want to tap in on with that, tap in on Instagram this Thursday, once again, between 4:33 and 5:33.
Pull up.
PMST. So that's my time.
Mm-hmm.
Your time that may be 7:33, 8:33. But yeah, pull up. All right, so let's get it. So I want to ask a question to the tribe, that's watching at home or wherever you at, and then to the tribe on the panel. How does your inner child currently feel? What is the current state of your inner child? And I want to start with Kai, because when we talk about this behind the scenes, he had a lot to say that
Yeah.
was very powerful.
So for me right now, when this current energy that I'm in, my inner child is the first, because I actually asked myself right before we went live. I wrote down the question because that's been helping me a lot lately, journaling and whatnot. But the first word that came to my mind was welcomed. You dig what I'm saying? And welcome in the sense of me making connections to aspects of my inner child that I didn't know I need to make, and I'm still processing it to be able to articulate it to y'all. But like I said, just welcome, like it's in a state of accepting. You know what I'm saying? In that state of flow or release and detachment to be able to make more space for yourself. So welcome, like I said, because I've been doing shadow work and being able to release. Now I'm welcoming in more to be able to do the same thing all over again.
Now that's
I
very
say.
powerful. So technically, your inner child is in a place of growing up. Your inner child is in a phase of, it's like, going from adolescence, to a teenager, like in
Exactly.
that phase of, that's deep. That's
Exactly.
definitely deep. And I think we should bounce back and forth because the chat going live, so we should go back and forth. Um, so this is very powerful. So my inner child is feeling more expressive and comfortable. I allow her to come to the surface more.
I say.
And so first and foremost, much gratitude to you, family, and that is going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make acceptance easier. It's going to make you fearless. You're going to be able to overcome and accomplish things that other people may feel like is impossible because you understand the power of your inner child. Like, hold on, I need you real quick. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I need to have no walls at all. It's just up. I need to just go. I don't need to care about what's next. You know how children when they play hard. You know what I mean? So that is and I like how she said the surface. So that's
Mm-hmm.
grounded. Her inner child rises to a place, to a grounded place. You know what I'm saying? That's very powerful.
Say.
How you feeling there for soul? How's your inner child feeling right now?
Man, I feel like she's definitely in a state of healing and learning how to get back into that state of curiosity. Because I have been working with her a lot, especially with this inner child retreat coming up, and we really been hugging a lot and realizing that that's just one of the main things I just really needed, that we really needed, which was that physical touch, that reminder that you exist, that you are no longer being masked by others. So it's almost like a coming out party, almost like, so this Leo moon too, I think is really bringing that out, that aspect out too, of like, we here. Like there's no more hiding in the corner, no more like waiting
Right.
for validation,
Hmm.
to feel that comfortability, to be curious, because we definitely took a lot of opinions personal, so getting
Mm.
back to that state of like, I'm gonna just be curious. I don't care what nobody gotta say, what anybody trying to do. We just back to that fun, that playfulness, that go with the flow vibe.
Hmm.
I say.
I say.
Very powerful.
So really quick, somebody asked a question before we move on. What This is almost like a trick question, honestly. What are the phases and stages of shadow work? So I can give you a basic, you know, um, breakdown per se, but truthfully, shadow work is different for everybody. Shadow work is like a customized prescription.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our own. So technically, I feel like shadow work should start with you getting to know yourself, so you can understand what type of shadow work you need. So shadow work starts first with knowing thyself. So today we're talking about the inner child, which is an aspect of you. So getting to know the inner child will help you to know, okay, you know what helps me, how do I feel whenever I'm pushing myself too far? How do I feel whenever a situation rises and I know if it's my shadow work or if it's the person next to me being toxic. sometimes we say that this person is being toxic, but really it's our shadow work. So this is all the process of getting to know thyself. So I would say start there first, and then you will know how to do your shadow work because it will pop up through one of your passions, whether it's writing. You might be a boxer and you just in your head visually seeing all these different memories, and you just knocking out everybody that ever hurt you. That could be therapeutic for you, as long as you release it when you leave the gym. So that's my answer to that. To that question.
Sure.
Yeah, I would for sure say too, don't get too attached to stages because shadow work gonna be forever, honestly. So you can even go to one phase, get out of it, go to another one, and then go back to the other phase.
Yeah.
Because I like to look at shadow work like an onion. There's always gonna be another layer to that experience. So the phases got phases, got phases. So it's just better to like what King said, knowing thyself. Like it's always just gonna really come back to that, seeing where you at today, seeing where you at tomorrow, seeing where you at next week, next month, and just going from there, because it's gonna be a plethora
A shame.
of ways that you're gonna tap in.
And piggybacking off of that, I would say that, a lot like kind of like King said as well, everybody's phases and stages are going to be different. And, we're so multidimensional as people. What you see somebody else doing in shadow work could be completely different for you or could look completely different for you. And I'm a big fan and kind of relying on the responsive nature of the universe, right? So a lot of the times, if I'm not sure on something, I'll pose my question inwardly and wait for the answer to be revealed to me, either outwardly or inwardly. So you just stating the intention that, I'm ready to get in touch with my shadow and I'm ready to transmute aspects of my shadow. That intention alone is going to reveal parts of you to yourself that are going to become the phases and the stages, that are unique to you. So I would say just setting the intention is really gonna, I do that with everything, man. If I can't find something in the house, or if I see a video I'm confused about and I'm like, man, I want more information on this, I'll ask humbly and like a child and say, universe, bring this to my awareness, what I need to know or what I need to do. And you'll be surprised with enough faith. You'll have that answer brought to you. So I would say, tap it with your intention of wanting to get in tune with your shadow, and you're gonna have them answers revealed to you. 999, big energy.
You feel me? So we're gonna go to the chat now with the next one. So somebody says that my inner child feels recognized or seen.
Oh shit.
It's deep because these energies that I'm hearing are very much so similar. And I think this Leo full moon got a lot to do with it for sure. You know what I mean? Like you said, that's very powerful. Recognizing what's deep is that the only person that can recognize your inner child is you. So if your inner child feels recognized or seen, then that means that you are connecting with the most joyous part of yourself.
Oh shit.
That means that you have the power of imagination, which is what we talked about behind the scenes. Therefore, you have the power of manifestation. So, to be honest, family, you super lit in this 7 year. You know what I'm saying? You can manifest anything. Because you are acknowledging and really, channeling and feeding your inner child nothing but pure energy. And what the inner child gonna do? Reciprocate it right back, because it's a reflection. We say peace reflection, but our truest reflections are these multi-dimensional parts of us. You see what I'm saying? Hey, I'm lit tonight. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, family. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it, Julio. How's your inner child feeling right now?
Man, I would say my inner child is feeling I would say vibrant, and I'll explain that because when I was a child, I just remember feeling so excited and vibrant all the time. Like my mom told me, "Hey, we're going to my grandmother's house, just to kick it." I was excited to go and just be there and talk to people. So I'm getting more back into that aspect of just being enthusiastic and vibrant about life, and kind of playing off of what Nefer Soul said with that curiosity, just exploring that curiosity. And furthermore, I would say my inner child feels supported, and when I think about the inner child, I kind of like to think that in certain ways we have to parent or reparent our inner child. We have to become that parent. Sometimes that we didn't necessarily have to our inner child, whether that's emotionally or mentally, and you have to think about how a parent would speak to their child. A parent speaking to their child graciously with a soft tone, lovingly, right? Parents not saying, ideally a parent's not saying like, oh, why'd you do that? You're so stupid. Right. So like when we're talking about our inner child, we have to be the ideal parent to that inner child. So I would say I've been focusing more on supporting my inner child when it comes to, like King said, feeling emotionally seen, realizing that who I am is enough, and any I guess obstacle that I get from my outside world that tries to make me feel less than, I quickly attack that by parenting to my inner child by saying like, hey, that might have happened, but you're worthy and you're whole and there's nothing to fear. So I would say supported, vibrant, and curious, to play off what Nefer Soul said. So it's lit, the inner child is definitely lit.
Well, hey, you know what I'm saying? From the conversation we had earlier, it's making sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and this Leo moon definitely playing a role because everybody's like, man. I feel seen, like they got that playfulness. So I feel like it's definitely helping.
And my moon is in Leo, and I think King, your moon is in Leo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and I didn't realize it was a full moon, but when y'all were talking about it, I was like, that's why I feel so lit.
No, I think my son is in Leo.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, your son is in Leo. Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, my moon is in Aries.
I show you.
You know what I'm saying?
Still fire energy, big fire energy.
Big fire energy. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Big Leo energy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the next comment that we have, on the inner child, I'm loving this. So I feel welcomed. Here we go again.
Hey.
Especially because I don't get to have moments like this anywhere else for real. And honestly, I think they were talking about the show. But I'm going to speak about it in the sense of their inner child to manifest that, in their life, but that's Ashe family, much gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, we getting it together.
And shout out to everybody in the chat keeping it transparent and keeping it real,
Yeah.
For sure. Julio said that's so cool. There's a shout out to the chat keeping it safe. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, because it's got to be said. People don't got to get in the comments and share their experiences.
No, facts.
So that means a lot.
No cap.
That means you feel comfortable here with us.
So let's do this one. The last one was, it was showing love. So they say we getting it together, opening up more to self and allowing myself. That's like what Kai was saying. It's like that. It's that growth. It's that elevation. Like I'm going from one phase to this next phase. With my inner child. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I told y'all this like a few days ago in the meeting. I feel the same way. I feel like my inner child. My inner child desires to be whole. But at the same time, due to certain things and in certain ways that my relationships are set up with my parents, my inner child feels like it'll never get to a place of wholeness. Because the certain things that my inner child desires or my inner child lacked, I still desire, you know what I'm saying? And so we kind of have this void. It's so deep, right? That Friday, I think maybe even yesterday, I came to a realization that I have actually put my wife in place. So I had certain pain from my mother that I actually had filled the void with my wife, which is very invalid. And so, but therefore, even in me seeking wholeness, I used something that was good, but in an addictive way, and I technically use it as like a crutch. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm my inner child is seeking wholeness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's deep, bro. No, that's deep. Even becoming aware of something like that is deep, especially when you're in the midst of a relationship, because that that can go overlooked, for a long time. That's one of those tricky aspects of shadow work where you might not even, like you said, and that your relationship is a positive thing, so you might not even be aware that you're mixing and mingling the trauma with the good parts of life. So I shade you for being able to become cognizant and aware of that, because that's not it's not light.
I say, bro.
'Cause there's definitely a lot of people that's doing that. Even I think I've had times where I've
Yeah,
done that too.
Hmm.
I think we all. I think it's a human thing,
Yeah,
and I was talking about that with a friend recently. It's like most men are kind of like subconsciously looking for parts of their mother, and then women can be psychologically looking for certain parts of their father. And sometimes they can be, like King saying, they can be voids that never got filled. And you're looking to fill them. So I feel like that's I feel like we all do that or have done that in varying degrees and at certain points. Whether King might just be one of the only ones who's aware of how he's doing it. But I feel like that's something that gets really overlooked when it comes to dating, and that's something that I notice a lot when it comes to dating is. To be honest, I try to at least ask some probing questions to see how the other party feels about their parents and certain things that happen, because it can kind of show you what somebody is expecting from you. Somebody might be expecting you to fill that void of their parent. And like
Mhm.
King says, sometimes that can be a real heavy responsibility, that you're putting on somebody. So again, I shade the King for we haven't even had, we talk about a good amount of stuff. I have
Yeah.
not. I'm hearing this for the first time on Shadow Work Sundays. Like, oh, that's a revelation,
That's why
brother.
I
Like
said I
that's
think it was
that's deep.
yesterday, bro. Like with everything, y'all know we didn't have 3 lives this
Yeah.
weekend, so I didn't even have time to talk about it. The only time I had the time that I did have, remember I told you I stepped back yesterday. I wasn't answering the phone for nobody. I wasn't doing nothing. I just had to process it, bro. Like
No
I had to
shade.
really get my mind right to be ready. That's why I feel like last night my energy for us, what I had to bring to the show with shadow work, it was real. You know what I'm saying? It still is real. And that's why I want y'all to understand, family. Like shadow work Sundays don't mean got it all together. You know what I'm saying? Like these are that just mean I'm out in the field. We out in the field. Got to constantly stay out in the field
Facts.
because technically, like I know me for sure. My purpose and who I am, my purpose is to alchemize these lessons, into matter of fact, alchemize my pain into power. I just like to keep it as that, So that's what we all here to do. So your inner child is in pain, but when you never your inner child, you become powerful. You see what I'm saying? Like I only could figure that out, Julio, because I'm connected with my inner child. We have conversations,
No shade.
and my inner child doesn't like to mess up. My inner child, because my inner child always was like the bad person. Like everybody talked bad about me and like who I was. So my inner child trying to like prove itself. Like no, I'm good. I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't say everybody call me a badass kid. All this like my inner child, like, no, I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? I was just hurt, bro. I just want, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, so yeah, I'm my inner child. Matter of fact, to keep going, and I'm gonna stop talking, family. But my inner child is in a place of not proving itself, but in a place of like, dang, it's the same thing y'all talking about. It's not the welcoming, but it's like finally feeling comfortable where my inner child belongs, like finding its place.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can't be whole if you don't know where you're supposed to be.
right.
So y'all just helped me walk through that. Thank y'all for letting me talk, myself through that. You feel me?
Welcome to Shadow
Yeah.
Work Sundays.
I do
I
feel
say,
like too, we all go through that because we're all groomed to be perfect as children. Like we don't get to be kids. It's always, oh, don't be sensitive, don't cry. You got to be like this, you got to be like that. But we never get to just be, so that
Mm-hmm.
we grow up with this search, this seeking for perfection. But the truth is, none of us will ever be perfect because perfection is imperfection. We just always gonna have flaws. We're always gonna have something that somebody doesn't like or something that we need to grow from because growing is forever. So that perfection needs to, that's where our inner childs get dimmed a lot.
mm-hmm.
and why most of us don't feel welcome. We don't feel that love. We don't feel that support. We don't feel seen because you taught to view everything in perfection, but it's like everybody's experience, their expression is going to be different. And if you only look at it in one way, then it's always going to feel neglected. You're always going to feel neglected in some way. So then you're going to combat yourself and limit yourself and box your inner child in the closet inside of you because now you're not allowed to feel the way that child felt. You're not allowed to be this way or that way. So then you start creating a whole new version of yourself
Mm-hmm.
in that place of perfection.
And we can speak on that because if you think about it, it's like a loop effect because that's the same thing a lot of people are doing to this day. A lot of us are wounded and broken souls, and that's just what it is. And we come into this world, we deal with experiences that traumatize us and that leave us wounded and broken to a certain extent. But
Right.
even as a child, as Nefer so saying, where there was this expectation to be, perfect. Think about social media. Everybody still has that same standpoint and disposition of trying to seem like they got it all figured out. Nobody's advertising like, yo, I'm really traumatized and wounded as hell, but I'm out here making it work. It's like everybody has this kind of personification that there is no healing that needs to be done, especially in the spiritual community. It's like I got to figure it out. I'm trying to pass this on to people, and like Nefer Soul is saying, like I feel like if even exhibit or even vibrating at that frequency of acceptance now where we know that we're wounded and broken, and we know that the people around us are wounded and broken as well, and we can deal with each other from a place of walking each other home to that place of healing. But I feel like that's something that still is perpetuated in our adulthood, is that okay, let me keep up this front, let me make sure let me make sure nobody knows my phone bill is due and I can't pay, and I just had to call and make that payment arrangement, or let me make sure nobody can tell that I just cried last night because of this breakup. And it's like
Yeah.
none of us are willing to be vulnerable and transparent about what we're going through, and that perpetuates the problem of feeling disconnected, unseen, and unloved.
And it becomes a competition, right? Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
competing now on who looks the best, who sounds the best, who presents the best, because
Exactly.
it comes back to being that child and being told you have to be perfect.
Yep.
You can't cry, you can't act like you scared, you can't be mad. You have to just be perfect.
And then let's not even get into the fact that most people with their kids is competing with their kid and other people's kids. Like, oh, my kid's gonna dress. So you have a whole subconscious mindset of you in competition with this other little boy. Because your parents are trying to make sure you dressed a little bit better or you speak a little bit better. So it's
Like
this
that's why my
constant.
daddy got me these new Gucci shoes
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
Mhm.
So it goes deep, man. The inner child
And
is
you know what's deep though about all that is childish energy. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So that's just a whole bunch of so-called grown people acting childish.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So truthfully, these actions actually are projecting and showing us that some of us. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah, I'm
Some
about
of
to
us
say because
are
that was
stuck.
deep.
Yeah, some of us are stuck in our inner child. Some of us never left the inner child place.
Shit. Well, we
You know
call
what
it
I'm saying?
inner childishness, inner child, and the inner childishness.
You feel me? No, for real,
you know,
exactly. You know, some of us never left there. Some of us been childish our whole life, made childish decisions, can't take nothing serious. You know what I'm saying? Have childish reactions. See, being petty is a childish action. So, and I know people that say, "I'm petty. I'm a petty this. I'm like, so you embodying this. You know what I'm saying? So they embodying that they are a child.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? They just got an ID. You know what I mean? A driver's license. You know what I'm saying? But they are literally a child, and so we have to ask ourselves, is so like he said, it's a difference between inner child and childishness. So if we are making decisions, loving in relationships, communicating with people from our inner child, and guess what? I talk about this all the time. I used to be a grown man throwing temper tantrums. You know what I'm saying? I would get so angry. I had anger issues. I get so angry, just so mad. You see what I'm saying? And throw temper tantrums. You see what I'm saying? And I had to realize that's my inner child, bro, crying out. No grown man should be walking around "Rah, rah," like, as much as they try to promote it as it's tough. That's not tough. That's really weak. You know what I'm saying? Only reason why a man is screaming and yelling and frustrated because something violating him so deep that he feels out of control. He feels like there's nothing he can do about it. That is weakness. And if
Sure.
is instead of us accepting, yo, I feel weak right now. I feel like somebody taking advantage of me. We get angry to mask it and throw temper tantrums, just like a baby when they cry. When they,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, a baby cry, a baby might not be hungry. They might cry. They want you to pick them up, but now they got you giving them bottles and doing all type of stuff, trying to figure out what's going on. You see what I'm saying? So, you know,
And
yeah,
I feel like that also comes from being raised and not being able to communicate, because it's like, oh, you can't be angry right now. I give you food, I give you shelter, I give you
No,
this.
yeah.
You don't get to be angry. So then now you start learning how to suppress.
Mhm.
But then you can only suppress so much. So then as you grow and you become an adult and your inner child is literally pacing at this point, because it's like, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, and nobody's listening. I'm not allowed to speak. And then you start becoming afraid to even express yourself now, because you're used to getting shut down when you express. So now when you are ready to communicate, you don't know how to communicate because you waiting to get shut down.
And the trippy part about that is a lot of people, because they experience that with their parents, psychologically when they see it in like other people or partners, it like excites them because it feels like, oh, this is what I'm used to feeling as a child, so it's like it gets reflected as I'm looking for somebody who doesn't see me, but it gives me the same
Yeah.
psychological feeling of when my parents didn't see me, but I thought they were seeing me the whole time,
Right.
and it just,
Because what happens now is all your wires get rewired. So
yeah,
good becomes bad and bad becomes good.
yeah.
So you
And you're
exactly.
looking for love in all the wrong places.
yeah, because then now, oh, this person is giving me TLC. Oh, you must be trying to set me up to mess me over later. But then the
Hmm.
person that's ignoring you, treating you bad, is because your parents was treating you like that. They was ignoring you. They was treating you bad because you needed to be perfect. So now when you
Hmm.
see that in your partner, you're like, oh, this got to be my person. I'm feeling the butterflies. But then even that, butterflies is a sign of anxiety and a sign you should run.
exactly.
Hmm.
But because we
But
get so
people,
accustomed
they
to
call it
bad being good,
infatuation. Nah.
I say, yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine recently, and not mentioning any names, but he's dealing with a goddess, and he noticed that like a lot of the times, like if they get into small disagreements, she'll say like, "Oh, what, you want to fight about it?" Like kind of like playfully, but a lot of the times there'll be like arguments that ensued, and come to find out when he tapped in with a little bit deeper, she was used to seeing her parents always going back and forth, right? So there was a part in her where going back and forth and arguing excited her a little bit, So it's like, again, it's like a lot of the times these things that we think are kind of normal about us sometimes might not be that normal, and like
Exactly.
yes,
sometimes people can be sometimes shadow work can be imperceivable where you can't see the patterns that are getting you bad results in your life, but once you start to pull back the layers of the onion, you can really start to see why you still getting certain results because of the same mindsets that you're perpetuating in situations and interactions with people.
yes. I
Yeah, just
definitely had a past partner. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
I'm about to say, yeah, to coalesce this whole build that we're doing right now, it is titled Inner Child Abuse. And just sitting
Hmm.
back and hearing y'all and listening to y'all talk and looking at the comments in the chat, I'm really grateful that I see so much growth, because it's not a demagnetized situation when you dealing with the inner child. And I'm seeing that with y'all, because when we experience things and when we're doing shadow work and inner child healing, yes, we're within, but we go within and still pointing without. You dig what I'm saying? We
I
still
say.
have our finger pointed out at other people. You dig what I'm saying? So it to bring it back around, like yes, our inner child gets abused by others, but it also gets abused by ourselves too. You dig what I'm saying? You abuse your own
Big
inner
facts.
child on a day-to-day basis, whether you
Yep.
realize it or not. You dig? So is like I said, I'm grateful that we have such transparency and have such deep introspection to be able to realize that, yeah, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, stay aware of what's going on around you, but also stay aware of what's going on inside of you as well. You dig what I'm
Oh,
saying?
shit.
Like, yeah, man.
No, because that's a fact. Like we was talking about before, you don't want to talk to your child like the abusive parent, you know, where you do something it's just like, man, I'm dumb as shit for this. I do that a lot. I have to catch myself saying like, man, I'm dumb as hell, or like, man, I'm wild for that,
Yeah.
you know. And it's just like
I
how I
grew up doing the
said,
same thing.
and it's crazy because again, just like when a parent was doing it, it kind of slips under your radar. It slips under the radar when we talking to ourselves like that, or when, like Kai saying, when we're abusing the inner child within us. It's almost normal to do that, you know. So especially not giving grace to yourself, you know, you got to give grace
Right.
to yourself in all aspects of life, just like you would, or just like you would hope your parents, you know, would do to you.
Or like you would do for a baby or a child. You know, if you're
Mhm.
babysitting a child, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
know, you're not gonna talk to that baby like you talk to an adult.
Right.
I hope not. You know what I mean? So
But that happens a lot though. Like my mom, she never chose yelling as a form of expression. She would always just talk to me and try to get me to communicate. But then I noticed once I started getting into relationships, people didn't know how to handle the fact that I didn't like to argue, that I preferred to conversate. So I actually had a partner before. They did not like that. I rather give them space because their only form of communication was arguing and getting loud and having dominance. And I'm like, I wasn't raised like that. Like I was raised to talk. And they actually told me that it was toxic of me to want to walk away and give them the space to get their words together and get their emotions down. And I'm like, I don't think that's toxic. I think you're used to people trying to one up you. But I'm like, no, if you can't communicate right now, I'm going to give you the space. Take your time. I'll come back. Or you hit me up, text me when you're ready to talk, and I'll come back. But I'm like, but what you're not going to do is yell at me because then I'm not going to appreciate the tone.
that's a super oxymoron for someone to be toxic and call you toxic. You know, it's like, bro,
Right.
you know, but that's also manipulation. See, we got to understand, you know, too, the reason why we get tricked on and played on and why we're able to, because of these inner child traumas and things that happen. Our parents, the trauma that our parents and people, when we were younger, put on us, it actually set us up to accept BS as an adult. So we accept certain things in relationships because we accepted it from this person. We accepted it from this person. It became normal. So it's like, you know what? You know, I'm automatically like getting into relationships, looking at it as, you know what I'm saying? They gonna do something foul. That's not a red flag. It's just the beginning, you know, because we watched our parents do that and we continue to forgive and forgive and forgive as we should, but nothing changed. So then we accepted it because you feel like you ain't got, I can't, and then I can do about it anyway. Most homes we come from, I know my home, you ain't got no control over nothing, buddy. Nothing. You know what I'm
Buddy.
saying? Zero. You know what I mean? Everything in this house is mine. You live in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been to a point where I have actually been put in prison in my home. A little bar of soap, some water. You don't got no food. You better make it happen. Better figure it out. Got some noodles. You can't even leave, you know, your room. And
Sheesh.
you in this mug and, you know, took out my clothes, like craziness, you know, to show. It's like, who does that? You know what I'm saying? So, but my point is that, you know, these things that we go through as a child, they are showing up in your life right now, family. So it is very important to connect with your inner child because you could be with somebody that you're calling your soulmate, but it's only because they're filling a void or because you haven't healed certain parts of yourself. So you're not seeing clearly. So you, like I said, on artificial love, you accepting shit as, you know, as gold
I'll show you.
because of your standards, you know, low self-esteem. The inner child pain creates low self-esteem.
And something you said just brought this thought to my mind because, you know, when we talk about the inner child, right? I feel like it could be hard for people to connect with the inner child because it seems like, all right, my childhood was far in my distant past. Is not that relevant to me right now. There might be some connections, but honestly, I was relevant to me right now. But when we're talking about the inner child, we have to kind of talk about the aspect of time as well. Because that the way most people think time operates from past to future in a linear fashion isn't really the case, and time is more cyclical. But I also believe time has a simultaneous aspect to it, where what you consider to have gone on in the past or your childhood is actually happening in this current moment, simultaneous to what's happening now. Meaning it's a direct link to a part of you that is fluctuating in and out of existence, affecting you in this very moment, right? Because if we was to bump up the frequency a notch and go to what people call the fourth or even the fifth dimension, it will be void of time, right? So in the astral, where it's devoid of time, you could look at an apple and you would see the red apple, you would see the seed of the apple, and you would see it decay, but you would see it at the same time simultaneously because your consciousness isn't locked into a specific point in time. So like when we consider our being the same way, what happened and what's happening in your inner child is happening right now. So like if you don't heal that, it's almost bleeding into your what you will call now. But there is no past and there is no future. There's only the now. So those things that you think affected you, are affecting you in real time because you are that inner child. That inner child is you. And I like Joe Dispenza. He's one of my favorite people when it comes to the link between the mind and the body. And in his book, Becoming Supernatural, he says he had an experience where he was listening to alpha waves to get his brain into that alpha mode of like heightened receptivity. And he said as soon as he went into meditation, when his body went to sleep, he said he had a vision of a clock and the hands of the clock just started turning backwards. And after the hand stopped turning, he was sitting in front of himself as a little boy. And he said immediately he remembered the moment that he was looking at as a little boy and realized that a lot of the work he was doing with the mind and the heart, he was thinking about as a little boy. And he realized that, man, like exactly where my mind was at as a little boy, it is right now in terms of what I'm curious about and trying to do, and then he says immediately he was zapped into his backyard and he's watching himself washing dishes 20 minutes before. And he said he instantly became aware that everything that he thinks is past and future is happening simultaneously. And your consciousness can perceive things from a omniscient or a simultaneous standpoint if you allow it. So it's like we're talking about the inner child. That's a part of you that's here and now with you. It's not just in the distant past. It's very relevant to how you're manifesting or how you're healing in this current moment.
That's why it can't like, and a lot of these chat they going in. That's why when the people that's talking about their relationships, now that's why I can control your relationship. That's why when I said about my wife that I've realized that she was feeling the void. That's something that's today. Currently I'm having to work on. My inner child is right there, like yo, you know what I'm saying. So that was powerful, Julio.
I got a question.
I'll show you.
Let's get it.
Because I keep hearing void. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when those voids aren't filled, do you feel as though they need to be not filled for that amount of time, for a specific amount of time?
So yes, because I look at before it becomes a void, which is a space of darkness where you can create anything. Before it becomes that place, that void that feels like emptiness, it is a wound. It is brokenness. So it needs time to actually heal. It needs time of nothingness. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I do believe that it's kind of like when you go through a traumatic situation, right? Some people think they can just get back to regular life, right? But that's not the case. I feel like you need to step back, and now it's not a time to go try to heal. It's a time to relax, to rest. It's a time to be in a place of vulnerability, of comfort. Be around people that you could just smile around, that you can cry around, and then once you get into that place of, where you can hold yourself up, now you're like, you know what? I'm ready to fill this void. I'm ready to go to this area, and I'm ready to, and that's from my own experience. And to me, that's the healthiest way. to go, you know.
I say.
And I always like to call that the in and out phase, where you spend time inside of yourself learning about you, figuring out what voids you have, what things you need to work on, etc. All the great things inside of you, you know, recognizing who you are, right? And then you have to go outside of yourself, where now you have experiences with either other people, with yourself, with the environment, that now gives you more downloads that you can now take back inside and apply it. And then you just keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. And which part of that aspect has to be a void? Because how do you process if you're always outside doing things?
Right.
Or even inside, if there's no void, how can you do everything if everything's always active? So it's like we always need that ether. That ether is always necessary for you to understand what's even happening, as well as how to process what's happening,
Right.
or what needs to happen. And I feel like that's a big part of why we even carry the inner child too throughout our entire life, and why the inner child is that foundation, because you spend the first 7 years of your life creating your foundation. So as much as we are told to let go of that inner child and create a void, what's really happening is you are being given the space now to see the generational curses, to see the soul contracts, to see the interactions that you need to have, to see what you came here to do and what you came here to heal. And this is why now it's going to start playing out in your day-to-day as an adult, because we've all voided that inner child and took away its importance, because you need to experience the outside before you know what you need to go back inside to do.
I say, and that's deep what you're speaking on, because it brought to my mind, you know, everything is interrelated, right? So manifestation is related to your inner child in a very unique way, because as Nefersol is alluding to, like that law of correspondence, that as above, so below, right? You're always going to get reflections outwardly from what's going on inwardly. So like when you're talking about the inner child, and as Nefersol said, ages 1 through 7, in those ages 1 through 7, you're learning how to formulate thoughts about the world, right? You're learning how to take the feedback you're getting, internalize it, like she's saying, and then express outwardly. But if as an inner child, if you are going through certain things, you've been constantly creating your reality from the standpoint of that inner child. So like if you're not getting seen or you're experiencing these voids, you're subconsciously creating situation after situation that's going to give you a void, because that's what you feel inwardly, right? So it's like until we start to realize that, okay, wow, I'm creating all of these experiences, the people I'm attracting, the situations I'm attracting from this place that I experienced from ages 1 to 7 that was never necessarily healed. And that's why I'm getting these results. You know, like that can be a major breakthrough once you realize that you're looking for certain things in life, and it's through seeking those things that you're attracting the people and the situations that you are, you know. But when you attain wholeness and when you attain completeness, there's no longer any looking for anything. There's no, you know, looking for a void to be filled. So you're just vibrating that love, and that therefore you get that reflected back to you. But it's like until we, like Kai is saying, until we kind of understand these voids a little bit better that we're creating our reality through, we're going to be going through some of the same loops, you know, both
So
inwardly and outwardly.
I want to speak on something because it came to me as you were speaking. You may have been you may have been, you know, poor or struggled a lot when you were young. And so now in your mind you have this connection to poverty.
Oh,
And you're wondering why your manifestations are not coming to life.
Oh, sure.
Because the memories of your childhood or your inner child, the energy that your inner child is vibrating at in this struggle, in this oppression, is stronger than the power that you're actually being able to use and channel for manifestation, because you need your inner child. So your inner child is manifesting this in your life, because all you can think about is when we was broke. And now all you talk about is, man, them stories when we was struggling, we was broke. Well, you know what I'm saying? I remember times like this, right? So this I'm gonna tell y'all a story could seem like a story of like, damn, nigga, y'all was broke. You know what I mean? Y'all tweaking. But it's two memories that actually I hold dearly to my heart that makes me smile even to this day when it comes to my mother. One is we only had $1 to our name, and we went to Wendy's, and she got one burger, and she gave it to me, bro. I was like, nah, and I was like, nah, mama. We ended up splitting it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a child. I'm looking, you know, so we ended up splitting a Wendy's burger. Another time was when we in the house, we had no lights off, whatever. My mama got like these basically got candles lit, but it's hot, bro. She go water the grass, bro. Let all the windows up and water the grass, bro. I'm talking about rested so good in the living room. It was lit. I mean, you just we obviously we heard nature all night, and to some people that would have felt like, man, you know what I'm saying, that was hell. But for me, those moments actually stuck with me to this day. You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling you that, family, that it's your perspective on the memory. You see what I'm saying?
And I want to piggyback on that real quick, because you see how you turned it into happiness, into wholeness. Some people take the other route and choose to well, not choose, because you're a child, right? So it's kind of whatever you fall into. But for the ones that take the other route and it turns into scarcity, I noticed that those are the people who disassociate and do not remember their childhood. Because you start falling into, I didn't have this, everybody else had that. So then you having to move into that scarcity means now you got to adult sooner and not be able to be a child. So then they start losing the memories of that childhood, and they start disassociating. And that's also where it falls into that void there again.
Just and to add on to that too, you know what I'm saying? The reason why some of us cannot remember what we experienced as a child is because memory and information, knowledge, wisdom is held within your chakra system. So you going throughout different traumatic experiences and things like that, and you're choosing that negative route, like she said, you're creating a block within that chakra system that you are activating in that specific time frame. So from birth to the age of 7, it will be the root chakra. So a lot of your fears, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the things that you feel like you can't do, all of those survival mentalities are all rooted from that space that you was in, because now you're not taking the time to wipe the lens of the chakra or cleanse the crystal of the chakra. Once you cleanse the crystal of the chakra, more light can refract through it, more information can reflect through it, and now you can pinpoint the remembrance of those experiences from your childhood. So this deals with the energy work. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just talking to my pops about this, the mind, body, and spirit. In order for y'all to tap back in and be able to shift y'all perception on the memories that you had as a child, you have to shift things in the physical realm, shift things in the mental realm, and shift things in the spiritual realm. And as we've been saying this whole time, what this does is create space so that you can literally put yourself in that situation and look at it with a different set of eyes now, while still being aware of this first perception that you had of that situation, to not go wrong again.
You can't forget the physical.
And your brain is a wild instrument. Your brain will block memories from you that are traumatic, so that you don't have to keep reliving the hurt, you know. And I feel like if you put yourself in a mental space where you say, okay, brain, being, I'm ready to experience the full brunt of these memories so I can transmute it. You can unlock, you know, people say like, oh, I lost the memory. I can't remember. But to me, memory isn't something that like you can lose, right? You can do certain things and have a perfect memory tomorrow, but it's your willingness to accept the memories. A lot of us, I personally have had dreams at night that involved like gore and blood and some more shit. And when I woke up, I couldn't remember anything, but something will trigger it. And I'll think like, yo, like, why the hell did that happen in my dream? And I realized my brain is blocking the memory to protect me. So I'm not walking around thinking about these gory scenes, you know, from whatever the case was going on in the dream. But if you put yourself into that state of like, yo, I'm ready to sort through this, you know, you have those memories opened up.
Look at it like a video game, right? and these memories have to be unlocked,
Hmm.
right? But you have to understand this, right? If unlocking memories and connecting with our memories, and if they just disappeared or whatever people want to believe, there would be no such thing as the Akashic records. You see what I'm saying? And so the
Ooh.
Akashic records and the way that the Akashic records work is that the more that you unlock, the more that is revealed. So the more that you heal, the more that is revealed.
And
You see
Subtle
what I'm
Rebel
saying?
SMR, she said, or they said, the perfect data bank with its own locking mechanism. That's heavy.
I say,
That's
And
and
like,
exactly what
I
goes
want to
on.
make sure y'all understand this too. At the because we talking about a lot. At the end of this episode, family, we are gonna do a live demonstration, exercise, meditation, ritual. At the end of this live, that is going to we're gonna tap into those memories. We're gonna unlock some memory. We're gonna connect, and we're gonna talk about the experience. So just know those certain questions y'all asking, we're going to actually do this together today at
And
the end of this live.
to give you a little background, me, Kai, and King, we got to do it behind the scenes a couple of weeks ago with Nefer Soul, and it's powerful. I'm not afraid to say the tears was flowing from me. I'm having things from my inner
Sure.
child come back. So we gonna get into some business later, like King saying.
I'll say.
it's and as far as like the unlocking too, right? I always butcher saying this. With Alzheimer's, people think it's like, oh, your memories are just gone. But studies shown listening to music brings the memories back. So even with that, it's still not
Hmm.
lost. It's just you need the right triggers, the right keys to bring it
Exactly.
back. So when you think you've lost all this memory, it's like you gotta just find the right key that's
And
gonna help you
and you blocking it. And like you said, you blocking it by thinking like, oh, this memory is like the more you reinforce like this memory is blocked or I can't remember, the
you're
more
adding
you
more energy
Man,
to not
that's
yeah.
remembering.
that's why in this healing process we release. When you break down the word release, you just releasing that memory back into your consciousness so that you can experience it again.
Hey,
You dig what I'm saying?
right.
So y'all got to start signing y'all leases back up to y'all memories, man, with this healing.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
comes back to
I
what
like that.
Kai was saying. It's all in your chakra system. So when you take the
Exactly.
initiative to go heal it, to go work on it, to go within that, you will start to bring it all back because people are always like quick to say, "Oh, I don't know where to start healing," or "I don't know what I need to work on. I feel like I'm great." But then when you really break it down, you really think about it, is it though? Because you know you have all these issues that keep coming up. So that's also another recognition that you are not going within self and that you are ignoring self, and then it's going to start projecting out into your reality in many different ways, whether you can't
Mm-hmm.
remember your childhood, or you have these outbursts but you think you're still great, but it's like you wouldn't have the outbursts if there wasn't things suppressed. So we also got to get, like we said in the beginning of this whole thing, out of that state of wanting to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
because
I'll say.
that right there, that perfection alone creates so much blockage.
And
I
so
want to
I see
touch on real
someone.
quick a comment. We on the same frequency. I bet you
Yeah.
we on the same frequency. We'll come with you about to comment on.
Well, I got a few comments started, but one specifically, I ain't gonna lie, I probably got about 8 comments that I need to
Yeah,
talk
I see
about.
you. I
But
see you, baby.
All
one
right, let's run it. Let's run
specifically,
it.
is from Nina. Is it Nina that you tapping in with? It's the same person?
Nah.
Well, mine is short and sweet, real quick. So Nina just asked if we can create a shadow work journal together, and so honestly, that has
Yeah,
been
that one
spoke
too.
about over and over and over and over, and it will be made happen really soon. I promise you that. And then also, if you want to connect with your inner child and things of that sort outside of here, we all actually do one-on-ones. So you can tap in or inbox, Instagram, and tap in with us. But we definitely do one-on-ones, and we can kind of get more personal and really tap in and really go within,
Mm-hmm.
as well.
As well as Kai actually already has an ebook out on shadow work that y'all need to tap in, because I promise you it is powerful. So if you while you waiting, And maybe if you don't got enough to get the consultations with us, tap in with his ebook because it's very powerful.
I say.
And definitely, and then like we have all kinds of information, you know what I'm saying, out here. Y'all just have to put in the work to search through it. We just don't post videos because they look cute on our platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's here to help. Y'all got it's here. It's like a library digitally in your hand. You know what
Here's
I'm saying?
this
So
cute
go to the
little
library.
picture of my ebook.
Yeah.
Y'all
Right.
gotta
And
tap inwardly.
truthfully, this is like probably the 4th episode on Inner Child. So even we on Shadowwork Sundays, just when it comes on here, there's this is the 4th episode. So there's a lot of episodes that were like I have nothing but notes on my side. We going in. You know, this episode was meant to be more interactive and where we're healing with the tribe together. We're doing things. We're connecting with each other. This is what the spirit wanted for this full moon. So that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? But let's get it. Because you had a question. I want to go on one of these questions. So let's go back to
Yes.
back.
So this one is the God Soul Child comment. He said, I feel like youth sports and shit talking also contributes to the competitive nature in a lot of us, because I find myself projecting that onto others and comparing people like it's an ego stroke when you up or something. So me personally, I can relate to that because
Me too.
me and my sister, we were so close in age. So she was in a grade higher than me. She was always in a varsity sport up higher than me because she was always, you know what I'm saying? We was in that same age bracket. So we competing, you know what I'm saying? It was fun,
Right.
but leading on up into my adult life, I started to see where too much of a good thing and being competitive is not such a good thing. And throughout my shadow work and introspecting, what I began to realize the main thing was me being able to, or feeling like I have to prove myself all the time. And that stems from stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The shit talking and, oh, you can't make this shot, or you can't do this. Man, I bet you I can write this essay faster than you can. I bet you I can eat this cookie faster than you can. All of this competitive energy. You dig what I'm saying? So then when you get by yourself and it's time for you to do something, you feel like like me personally, I felt like I always constantly had to prove myself and prove not to these other people that I can do these things, but prove to myself that I can do this and do that, and not standing on a solid ground foundation that I already know that I can do these things because I've done them. So why am I still constantly reinitiating that traumatic experience from my past just so I can have that sense of feeling like I'm up over somebody? You dig what I'm saying? So I
Facts.
definitely relate with that. You know, we see that a lot throughout our community. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about it earlier within Alive. You dig what I'm saying? So being able to detach from an aspect of that is very powerful. And like I said, what I found myself would help me. Y'all, some of y'all may be paying attention to it throughout the live, but just being quiet. You're shutting up. You know what I'm saying? Because all the downloads that y'all giving, it's like I'm right here. I was like, damn, I'm about to say that. I want to say that. I was about to say that. I was about to say that because I feel like I need to prove it to me. But by me sitting here and being quiet and observing, it's opened me up to a whole different spectrum of this whole podcast that I wasn't aware of. You dig what I'm saying? So be quiet.
I say, and that's deep. I feel like because like what you're speaking on with the competition aspect, because a lot of the things that's intrinsic in us, like we like to think is just toxic off break, but like nature is competitive. Like nature is super competitive. There's animals that have to be competitive in nature for them to survive. Like I like turkey vultures, and turkey vultures are some of the most intelligent birds because they're in strict competition with each other at all times. They constantly got to figure out new methods to get the prey before their counterparts do. So like Kai's saying, it's like that competitiveness is in us because it's in nature, but the balance is crucial because like you just said, if the animalistic nature, the competitiveness which is of your lower nature, your lower animal nature, if that takes over, it can be torturing you 24/7. Like, nah, we gotta, the turkey vultures at the end of the day, they're competitive, they get the prey and then they go do their own thing, but they not like snatching up as many rodents and put them in a pile. Like, look at this, man. Like I'm doing it, So it's like that balance with that. It's okay to be competitive because that's what fuels nature. But when it starts to become like I was saying, because I've experienced that, and I feel like a lot of us have, where you by yourself and you egging yourself on to go harder. You're like, what what the hell am I doing? Like it's just me here. So I feel like that's really important to realize
That's
that.
right.
Go ahead. No,
I'm
no.
not,
I'm wrapping up.
I'm not trying to go too far, too deep on y'all, just like this, you know what I'm saying? But that's the same reason why niggas kill niggas every day.
Facts.
That's,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
kind of along the lines of what I
You
was going to
know,
say too, but I'm
like
gonna let you.
that's the exact energy,
Yeah.
you know, that is feeling, because like he said, with the balance, the turkey vultures do their thing, they dip off. But where we come from, you ain't stopping till,
That shit don't
you know
stop.
what I mean? No, it ain't stopping. It's straight pressure. You know,
Mhm.
so that is that same energy, that competitive, you know what I'm saying? I come from a place where we used to hoop. I ball, we hoop with my bro. That's just normal in the hood. You finna go hoop. And I'm getting into it with niggas on the court constantly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of them people, bro. I don't, man, my family, no, I don't give a man. I'm finna talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am Michael Jordan, nigga. What y'all talking about? Like, you know, like I was one of them people. You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
always
Like,
that one dude on the court who had way too much to prove.
bro,
You know
that
what
was
I'm
me,
saying?
bro. You know what I'm saying? And
It's like, hey, bro, chill.
I was always probably the shortest too on the court. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey,
you know, but I'm just saying, but that was a dangerous world I was living in. Like
Nah,
me
facts.
and my bro, and we ended up getting jumped by like 20 niggas. You know what I'm saying? 20 guys. You know what I'm saying? At one point, it wasn't behind that. At that point, it was something else. But boy, it's karma, and it came back. You know what I'm saying? But many fights could have happened on the court. You know, with different people, you know what I'm saying? Different things happening, and many fights happen every day on the court and in these competitive areas. Because like Kai said, we trying to prove something. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like a lot of people when they like when somebody kills somebody in the hood, 9 times out of 10, it wasn't because he wanted to. It was because of the show. It was about the other people. It was because somebody called somebody out in front of somebody that they feel like they had this the person I got to make sure they know I'm really, you know what I'm saying? They really look up, so they gotta prove, they gotta prove a point. Now a nigga doing 30 years and somebody ain't got a son because somebody was around somebody that they just wanted to prove a point. You see what I'm saying? So it's really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's weak.
Exactly.
To be real, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It's weak. You know what I mean? Like it's super weak. If you walk around trying to prove yourself to somebody else, then do you? It's like a lot of these rappers, right? Or a lot of these niggas in the street that say, "Man, I do what I do, man. I run this, I run that." How you run this and run that when you're doing everything that these rappers are telling you to do? So who's really controlling who?
mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
see?
and,
So
and I experienced the competition in the opposite because where I grew up, it was like a lot of the girls are girly girls. So I was one of the few who I'm playing ball.
yeah,
I'm into football. I'm into soccer. I'm into track. I was very into sports. And a lot of the girls did not like me because I was the only female that the guys would be like, hey, you we need a sub. We need somebody to fill in. And mind you, I'm short too. So I'm 5 foot at the time.
yeah,
And I'm over here hitting buckets, hitting threes. Like and the girls will get mad, like, so why she get to play? Or whenever they want to talk about the games, it's like, so she can talk about the games and we can't. And somebody wanted to fight me once because the guys only let me talk about the basketball. And they're like, do you even know what we talking about? And they're like, no. So they're like, so then why would we incorporate you? But I had to deal with a lot of the females in school not liking me and wanted to fight me or thinking that I wanted all the guys or had all the guys' attention. But really, we would just be talking about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it actually caused me to have a lot of issues in school for no reason. I'm hella cool, but it's just off the strength of I'm into sports, and that's what most males are gonna relate to is sports.
Mm-hmm.
So that always created like some sort of competition between me and the other women in school. And I'm like, I just want to ball, man. I don't even care. I'm trying to be the first female in the NBA. I don't care about none of that.
Say
Like,
y'all trying
but
you
politics
know
and
what? You know what you made me think about though, Nefer Soul, and I want to make this clear to anybody that want to align with that energy. Understand, competing is a jealous energy. You only compete because you're jealous. It's a jealousy thing, and jealousy is like a cousin to hate.
mm-hmm.
So if we are focused on love and moving at a high vibration, if you're moving in these certain ways, I'm sorry, family, you are not walking towards my eye. You know what I'm saying? Because and truthfully, the cool thing about it, the best way to do everything is in flow anyway, because none of this matters. you're only as much as it matters when you're doing it is just as much as it doesn't matter, because even what you're doing, you're only a portal or a tool to do it in this realm. Whatever that we are doing comes from the ethers. You see what I'm saying? And if you're in the move operate in the opposite aspect, then it's coming from whatever deity is tapping into you and taking over, or entity, should I say, taking over you and actually using you and manipulating you to under MK Ultra.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll make that clear. Like, we don't, me and Kyle, y'all love the projects that we do. You know why? Because ain't no competition. I'm not trying to prove that I rap better than Kyle. Kyle's trying to prove that he rap better than me. I'm not trying to prove I got more information than Kyle. I'm trying to prove he got more information than me. It's like, that's a whack. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
man.
Like, our goal is to be the pure beings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pure but perfect. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I'm pure. I mean, yeah. So that's our goal. You see what I'm saying? Even as a child, we was forced to be perfect. You get in, I know me, I got beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got, man, say, you feel me? I'm talking about to the point my mama hold me down, call with her friends over. They take turns holding me. I'm talking about like WWE, type of,
Bruh,
like, bro, I'm not, man.
bruh.
And I had to go outside and pick the switches. And she soaked them in water. Like, I'm talking about slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Like, so I'm just saying, I understand, being controlled and being suppressed and feeling like when you go out, because the only reason why we go outside our home and try to compete, because in our home we don't feel validated. You see what I'm saying? There's something in the home. When kids
Hmm.
that's confident and people love them at home, they don't give a damn what nobody think outside. That's what they kind of piss people off because of that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because of that confidence.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
And it all everything you're saying too circles back to the oracle card about the ancient healing wisdom, where it's like we make everything outside of ourselves when everything starts in the spirit. No matter how you look at it, whether it is illness, competition, voids, all of this comes back to the spirit first, and the
Hmm.
God connection, and the source connection, and the deity you work with, and all these different layers of everything.
We can't hear you. Can y'all hear?
Your
Nah,
audio cut out.
I thought I was trying to make sure it wasn't just me.
Man, she was going in.
Right.
She froze now.
Yeah, go out and come back in, family, if you can hear us.
Energy too high. I'm
Oh
literally gonna
man,
cut
y'all
her off
know,
mid.
y'all know how it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, because that didn't even make sense.
all right, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap in on one of these comments real quick. Um, all right, so man, there's so many. Let's see. So how do you? So we got, how do you make these memories resurface? So we're gonna do that at the end. Those memories will resurface before the show is over. Somebody said our parents is our first love. Can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
Streamer playing.
Yeah, definitely try it again. I want to add on something real quick too. You know what I'm saying? As far as the inner child, you dig what I'm saying, and the aspects and the layers and just tapping back in. You dig what I'm saying? Like I said, the mind, body, and spirit. We are generators of energy, but in order for us to be generators of energy has to flow through us, right? So we have to be open channels 1000% of the time. You dig what I'm saying? Once one of our channels become blocked, then that's when energy becomes stagnant. If energy becomes stagnant, that's when dis-ease may kick in the body, or you know what I'm saying, memories get blocked, or situations don't
Yeah.
get dealt with. You know what I'm saying? You don't listen to yourself. So
Hmm.
um just some holistic ways, you know what I'm saying, and some omniscient ways to bring yourself back into a state of flow. And one is to study the anatomy and physiology of your body, because your body is always 9,000% of the time doing what it needs to be doing when it needs to be doing with what you gave it to do. You know what I'm saying? What it needs to get done. So if you're constantly feeding your body, would we chill? Would we chill?
Yeah.
All
Because somebody,
right.
I was feeling this, and then somebody put it in the chat. Now, I don't know if this is what they meant, but this is already what I was feeling intuitively. That we need to take a step back for a second, because we've said a lot, we've did a lot, and then you got this comment right here. You know what I'm saying? We need to take a second to reset. Flow is crazy. And you know, I was like, hold on, like, you know, so yeah. So what we're gonna do is, remember I was talking about when am I supposed to play Inner Child music video?
Oh yeah, there you go.
And I was like, it's gonna just show. We were trying to figure out what's the best.
There you go.
This is
perfect.
The time. This is the time. So once we get an episode right, we're gonna go. Oh, we definitely can hear you. Can you hear us?
All right, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
We was going to win.
Hey, say, you know, but it was divine actually. We needed to. So what we're finna do is we're finna do a reset. We're finna step back for a second. We gave a lot of information. Heart space is open, you know, and it's a lot we already knew. And I apologize, family. I gave the disclosure last night on the podcast, but not this episode. But just this definitely an episode you want to be in the most vulnerable place and in a comfortable place, you know, and because yes, we're going to leave light tonight. Even if you was heavy, we're going to leave light. If you was light, you're going to leave lighter.
Shake your bags at the door. I
say. So right now we're going to play Inner Child music video or movie or short film. And what this is, it's an example of what we're going to do later in the show. And it's also an example of what it is like when you go within and you hear your inner child. You see what I'm saying? So before we watch it, I'm gonna just I don't normally say this before, but at one part of the video, it's gonna be me. No, I'm not gonna do that. Why would I do that? I almost did it. No, that don't make sense. I felt Kyle like, nah, bro, what you doing?
You was about to plot reveal your own content.
Exactly, bro.
A spoiler alert, I mean.
Exactly. So let's get into it. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see it?
Yeah. All right. I love you. And I'll always be here.
You promise?
I promise.
Yeah. Heal my inner child. I would sit and wonder why it's hard for me to smile. I have no control over the people that's around. I don't know who you always going in and out. Started shadow work, that's when I saw my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah, heal my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah. Sit with myself, don't wanna live with myself. Tell me who dirt when nobody else dirt. Tell me who cur when nobody else cur. You already know they ain't playing it fur. You was alone, shedding them tears. I know you ain't scared, but you trapped in fur. They ignore your words. They gossip about you when you flip. Yeah. I'm fed up. I just found healing in a letter. I'm the umbrella for my brothers. I became a man without my father. See the contradictions in your parenting. The picture look different when you don't control the narrative. Yeah, I just hit control without delete on all the memories. Let's live for peace. Yeah. You won't back me in again. Then go acting like you innocent. Tribe, I don't do no friends. My family is exclusive. My life been a movie, I got stories to tell. Realize I'm nothing like you and I'm truly myself. I guess if you weren't selfish, you would see how I feel. I'd rather be real than focus on dollar bills. I don't feel alone, I feel at peace by myself. I don't feel comfortable cause this not my crib. As a child it's hard to name all the places I live. You tried to take my gift when I got so much to give. I would sit and wonder why it's hard for me to smile. I have no control over the people that's around. I don't know who you are, you always going in and out. Started shadow work, that's when I saw my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah, heal my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah. Tell me what you want from me. I saw things I wasn't supposed to see. Now I ain't get no degree. I was out there in them streets. This wasn't the life I chose. How you gonna ignore my soul? Mama, where do pain go? Daddy, why you don't know?
I would sit and wonder why it's hard for me to smile. I had no control over the people that's around. Don't know who you are, you're always going in and out. Started shadow work.
That's when I saw my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah, heal my inner child. Yeah, I'm gonna heal my inner child. Yeah. Had to get out my business, I'm all about healing. Had to get out my business, start my healing. Had to get out my business, I'm all about healing. Had to get out my business, start my healing.
Oh, Shay, powerful every time, man.
Every time.
I say.
The end clip is so wholesome too. Just you, I mean, just looking very much joyful. You know.
Like I
I
really
say.
appreciate
Every time I
the
see that
love.
mug, I pick up on something different every time, man.
What'd you pick up on?
The part when the aspect of the video when the inner child wasn't healed and when he was playing with the blocks, it was not together. It was on a faulty foundation.
That man right there, Kai. And you know what's even deep too. So I don't even know if y'all, because y'all probably understand it, but that was a representation of his father not be. That wasn't like. That's why he looked at him like that. Like, who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, drop the Lego. Like, I'm about to move around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to be here no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's deep that you understood that room wasn't a representation of a high vibrational moment at all. You know, but of being unhappy with life.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Facts.
So I'm gonna try to read this. Hopefully, but I want to read because I've never read this. The part that I got that's in here in the video, and I am working on Inner Child book, family.
I was literally going to ask you to read that out loud too.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I'm doing it because I never did it. But you did it. You put it in my head.
Because somebody asked a question about how do we merge with the inner child, and do we ever have to use the inner child as an adult in a positive way? And I don't know why, but I just felt like whatever is in there is about to help break that down.
I don't even remember what's in here, so this is going to be.
We're about to all find out together.
So it says, I'm going to heal my inner child. First, I'm going to start by going into a quiet place, a place where I feel comfortable. So this is technically the meditation. Wow. So I'm gonna read it though. But this is technically the meditation that we're going to do later, from my understanding. But I'm going to heal my inner child. First, I'm going to go into a quiet place, a place where I feel comfortable being vulnerable. Go into a meditation. Focus on my breathing. As you focus on your breathing, start to think about the memory of your inner child and let it flow naturally. As these memories flow, become one with your inner child, merge with yourself in these memories, start to look around and analyze everything, see everything for what it is. Allow every emotion you feel to flow naturally. If you feel like crying, then cry. If you need to scream, then scream. Don't be afraid of your inner child. Spend time with your inner child because your inner child has been abandoned, betrayed, lonely, only focusing on the things that fuel trauma. Stay connected with your imagination, which is how you can replay these memories to connect with your imagination, watch cartoons, dream about things you desire, meditate, and connect with your passion. I say.
Oh, shit.
Hey, that's full circle.
Full
Here we go.
circle.
Shade.
Full cipher.
I say. Oh man, y'all got. I'm really tweaking right now because as deep as we are into the episode, it feels like we just started. Like I don't know, it's weird.
The
Yeah.
healing process, the meditation.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Mhm.
So let's tap in some more with some of these comments, man. So somebody said on that note, let me put it on the screen actually. It said on that note, do you think those who have not experienced both characteristics within parental dynamics still become whole and true? So family, because I'm definitely one of those people from my own life. Most definitely, it's a process, and so the same way that I go back here when I said my wife was filling a void for me, in the area of my mother. Me saying that, as much as it was a revelation, it wasn't a bad thing. It was a beautiful thing because she was actually able to be here and to love me in a way that I needed to heal that area to now where I can actually go and fill that void. So to become whole. So I would say yes. I would just say it's about the process. You have to feel the pain. You got to feel whatever that process. We can't run from it. We got to face it. And I would say that it's all about the process. It's all about not escaping. And then it's about acceptance. And that is the whole that is the representation of what whole. Once we can accept it, once you can accept that person for who they are, and you can be happy, you can talk to them in love and not judge them, and you can have compassion, and you're whole.
Mhm.
Whole is not something. Whole is something that you feel, but it's not truth until it's revealed. So you have to go once you face that person, that's when you'll know if you're whole or not. I say.
Mhm. And it's deep because even like when you think about the word whole, WHOLE, and then whole HOLE, right, or like a void, it's like the two are one and the same. So like the whole of the void you feel is exactly what's going to reveal you to why you're actually whole, right? And sometimes the empty space can be the most important part. Like the room I'm in right now, right? It's like a room is only a room because it's empty on the inside, right? If a room was empty, it wouldn't be a room. Sometimes the empty space or the void is, if we're talking about incarnating, we set up these voids for ourselves or these holes so that we could come to know ourselves more truly, and more clearly. So it's through these holes or these voids that you're going to come to have a deeper understanding about why you were never lacking wholeness in the first place, so
Facts.
you
It's
gotta
just like
embrace
how
the
they
void.
say you buy a house and then your wife makes it a home.
Exactly.
That's deep.
Exactly. She's literally transmuting empty space, turning empty space or the void
So
into
family, I gotta be direct with you and real with you. This is definitely a channel message to Nina. First and foremost, family, you have to understand that it's possible. Facts. You have to understand it's possible. You have to understand, so you like I say, once you accept it, how do you move on? It's flow. Understand anything that we're talking about, it comes with a feeling that inspires a action. So when you do these certain things, once you do that first step, it's going to inspire you to do the next step. And the only way that we completely accomplish the first step, or we accomplish these certain steps, is through feeling and not forcing them and trying to jump the gun on the process.
Mhm.
It may take 6 months. It may take a year. It may take 2 years. You know, I think sometimes we think that we're not doing it because we're looking at somebody else's life and like, man, they got it. But you don't know how long it took them to go through hell to finally be like, dang, I got it. So, you know, trust yourself. You know, it's gonna, you're gonna be, because that's the key word you said, move on. You can't accept and move on. So that the word accept is in it and move on is that they don't go together. So for to accept, you have to accept, embrace.
Instead of
You
move
know,
on, I would switch the word to move through. You
move.
know,
Exactly.
the
I was
only
just
way.
about to say that because I just got done break it down. We have to let energy flow through. So in order for you to
Mhm.
move on, you have to allow the energy to come in, do what it gotta do, smack you around, you smack it around, whatever the case may be, and then you gotta let it keep moving on through so it go to the next person.
Hmm. The only way out is through.
And I feel like the reason why people always get stuck at the how in anything is because of your expectations or your perspective. So a lot of the times, if you don't notice what the solution is, you need to reevaluate your expectations.
Hmm.
Because a lot of the times, like King said, you're doing it, but because of your expectation of time or your expectation based on how other people are doing it, you will psych yourself into thinking that you can't do it. It's not accessible to you, it's not available to you, or you don't know how to do it, or nothing that you're doing is helping you do it. But in actuality, you are doing it. It's just your expectations need reevaluation.
Exactly.
And
That's
something you
powerful.
said,
That's powerful.
I'm gonna say it's real powerful though, because it's like when you drive in a car to a destination. It's like you don't, if you're driving, let's say from New York to California, you don't know every street you're going to encounter. You don't know what the route's going to entail. All you need to be able to do is see 5 to 10 feet in front of you to drive that car the entire way. And I feel like a lot of the times we get wrapped up in our heads with the how is it going to happen, or we can't
Right.
consciously piece together how it's going to happen. I feel like a lot of people block their manifestations because people assume that they have to be able to know and see exactly how things are going to transpire for them to make it to that destination. When I adopt the mindset of like, you could be going through hell, the worst situation, and you don't know how you're going to get out of it. You just have to know you are going to get out of it. Just like the destination, you don't got to know what streets you're going to take from New York to California. You just got to know you hitting go in the GPS, and you going to get there by being able to see 5 to 10 feet in front of you the whole time. And it's like, we got to get more, like Neferso was saying, we got to get away from the how it's going to happen, because we're trying to pull from familiar memories on how A plus B equals C, or how 1 + 1 = 2. And sometimes spirit's trying to tell you, man, leave all of that up to me. All you have to do is know what's going to happen, and I'm going to fill in the blanks. I've had a lot of spiritual
Exactly.
tests. I've had a lot of spiritual tests with manifestations, with thinking I'm going to strategize and calculate it, and spirit will jam up every single one of those. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are and how finely tuned your methods are. Spirit will jam up every one of them just to throw you a bone out of left field to say like, "Yo, be open to it happening this way and not that way." You feel me?
Exactly.
And I
And to
love
bring
the
it
car
back real,
analogy. Oh, go ahead.
you straight, go ahead, goddess.
Just real
Look, we
quick.
all want
I
to say
love
something at this point.
no, I'm like, wait. No, because I always love using that car analogy though, because okay, so say you're trying to get from New York to Cali, right? So you need a car or you need a plane or you need something, right? But we're gonna use a car. A lot of the times what happens now is y'all want the instant gratification. So then you're like, all right, I'm trying to go to Cali, so let me get the car. So then you get the car, but then you realize that you need to learn how to drive the car. But what happens instead, you avoid what the universe is trying to show you, which is you need to learn the steps on how to maneuver the car, that you jump so quick into the action of just getting there that you
Mm-hmm.
get the car, but you never learn how to drive it. So then now instead of realizing there's a lesson, you get mad at the car, you get mad at the universe because the car isn't taking you to Cali, but you never took the time to realize that you needed to learn how to drive the car before you can actually use the car to get to where you need to go. And that's why you go through certain delays, because there's certain things that you need to learn along the way. And that's why you got to lose that expectation on how and become more solution based, because sometimes there's it's going to take 10 solutions to get there and not just one. So when you keep putting yourself in and reprogramming yourself to be solution based, you stop focusing on the obstacles and you start focusing on the lesson. So either way, you still growing as you're going because you're doing the
You
work.
win either way.
Focus on the result.
I have to like add to this. It's kind of like a line, and we're just gonna keep drawing this one line because I'm seeing this, I guess, as you speaking. So that was one perspective, right? Where they got the car, and you we're not because okay, you got the car, but I'm gonna say you got the car because of lack of trust. This is something I'm going through right now with trusting things and all that. So say you wasn't supposed to get the car, you were supposed to take a flight because you were supposed to work on your trust, but you got the car, and like you said, the car situation is messing up. You're doing everything that Never Soul said.
The whole time you supposed to be flying.
The whole time. So you created the diversion.
And not only that, but you're sitting in the car, not know how to drive. You just going California, in the car, just looking at you like you like California.
You know,
whole time you're not supposed to be on a plane.
Whole time you knew you couldn't drive.
Whole time, but you mad at everybody, and this is where the projection comes in because now you mad at everybody else. You mad at God. You mad at the universe. You mad at your damn mama. You mad at your friend who told you to go learn how to drive first because you just think you got it all figured out and you just ready for everything. But it's it takes preparation. It takes other things and observation because like King said, sometimes you actually needed to fly, but because you wanted to get ahead of yourself, you thought you needed to drive, but now the car breaks down.
How do you say that you are everything? You are connected to nature, you are connected to source, but you don't respect the process that source has everything go through? If you look if you plant a seed, you go outside, we see everybody sees beautiful trees. We hug trees, we understand that trees create life and all these different things. How long do you think it took for you to enjoy that actual tree that you're seeing?
That's deep.
You see what I'm saying? That process was a process of growth this tree had to constantly be stretched.
Hey, and I'm glad you said that.
I got another.
Go ahead.
The whole time while this tree was a little plant, it was 1,000 big ass trees next to it that everybody was focusing on. They didn't even look at that little plant. But one day that plant was gonna be right there with the, you know what I'm saying, with all the, you know what I mean, like
it's something else about what you're saying in that whole process. Did probably anybody even notice the tree was growing? Anytime somebody came up and looked at the tree, there was never any perception of it growing. It just happened so silently and effortlessly. Like, you know, I feel like that.
And so look, and what I forgot the name of the tree. I think bamboo, but it's a tree that basically it grows underground. I think for like 50 years.
I think it's bamboo.
I think it's bamboo, and then all of a sudden, this tree just I'm talking about it just out of nowhere. It becomes like, you know, I don't know, 10, 15, I don't know, crazy. You know, it's huge, but this whole time it's growing. You can't even see it.
Yeah.
You know, so stop sleeping on yourself. Stop being so all of us. Let's stop being so materialistic when it comes to things that are outside of the material realm. That makes no sense. You see what I'm saying? Love is not a material thing. That's why you can feel love from your mama in a whole different state. You can feel love because it's not a material thing. So these things that we're talking about are not material. We're talking about connecting with the inner child, memory to the heart space. You will block yourself if you're trying to connect with it from a material aspect.
And it,
you see what
real
I'm saying?
quick, it all comes back to the fact that your inner child was put to the side, so you're no longer living in a playful curiosity state, and you're not trying to have fun. You're not trying to enjoy the process. You just want to hit the next result, hit the next result, hit the next result. But it's like, slow down. You know, the same way y'all told us slow down is the same. You know, it's all reflections. Like, we got to slow down sometimes and smell the flowers. Slow down and look at this tree bark. slow down and just actually pay attention to everything that's happening. Everything doesn't always have to be good and bad all the time either. Sometimes it could just be play. Sometimes it could just be fun. Sometimes it could just be curiosity.
Because a lot of the times we rushing to death, but literally we're just rushing towards death. Like when you're not taking the time to, like Nefer Soul saying, to stop and smell the roses, to enjoy things. Like you literally hustling and bustling and rushing your way towards the grave when you're here to experience and to bask in the experience.
It's the power of being present.
Yeah, I say.
You know what I'm saying? When we understand that time is not real, then we understand that the only thing is real is the present.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing is real is what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? And what you do right now can change the future. And what happened in the past is already done. Mm-hmm. So it's like only thing matters truthfully is technically right now. And if you think about it, the past and the future are living in the present.
I always say the past and the future.
You see what I'm
the
saying?
past and the future are simply reflections of how you spend every moment.
Exactly. It's like a mirror, three mirrors that are reflecting on each other.
That's why I'm so grateful of nature, because they always got a message for you, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you at. I always show gratitude if a bird, a bee, whatever, you know what I'm saying, decides to take its energy out of its, you know what I'm saying, lengthy day, because they this big, so the world is grand to them, to grace me with, you know what I'm saying, the way they look, or by the way they fly, or something like that, because it's a message in that for me. Like anytime I see a blue jay, I know it's something I need to say, not somebody else need to say, but it's something I need to say, so some healing can get done. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep, bro. Because I'm not the control. That's deep, because Blue Jay is one of my OG ones too. So I didn't even know we was connected on that type of timing. Because specifically, if I see a blue jay, it's lit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this blue jay. I be having this weird thing in my mind that like animals like blue jays will report back to spirit, like, okay, I just flew in front of him at 11:11. He got the sign, like, so. But yeah, we definitely connected. Not a control, but we connected on that blue jay.
Man, for sure.
Yeah, I got the blue jay tattooed on me. It's so deep to me. Like that was one of my first real tattoos, the blue jay. So I shave that.
Definitely, definitely.
Next time I see a blue jay, I'm about to be like, man, this nigga Kai is sending me a. Well, now I used to send the notes on the pigeons. We're gonna start sending spiritual notes on the blue jays.
No, that's hard.
Definitely.
Like, hey, go pull up on Kai real quick.
I see.
I'm lying, man. Man, this energy, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, family. We are live, as y'all know. But man, I'm definitely feeling this energy, man. This full moon, it hit different, it hit real different. And honestly, right now, just through this show, currently my crown is doing a lot right now. And when that person said calm down, I felt them. I'm like, yo, we need to chill for a second. But it's with the full moon energy though, this Leo energy that we're feeling. And so understand that to take advantage of this energy, let's get a little aggressive with it. Take over, take control, take back your life, use this energy, use this Leo energy, use this confidence, use it to take your life back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a part of connecting with our inner child is taking our life back. You feel me? So use energy to take your life back, whatever it is that you feel like been taken from you. You know what I'm saying? It's time to really tap into that bag of I ain't taking no shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for myself though. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of us be out here super tough guys, ready to talk bad to somebody, put hands on somebody. It's time for you to go ahead and handle yourself. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's called inner child abuse, because we ain't talking about go beat yourself up. You didn't did that enough. Everybody else did it. We already did that. You know what I'm saying? It's time, like Nefer Soul said, it's time to have communication. Sit there and have these talks and sit there and, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really that time, but to take it back, family. Like, I think we get aggressive when we get like Our people get fueled off of the most lamest, stupidest stuff that inspire like this aggression in us. Get physical with yourself. Get aggressive when it comes to your life. Get aggressive with the fact that I don't want my children's to be stuck in trauma. Get aggressive with that. These people got music everywhere my child goes outside or my family goes outside where they go. They got music that's inspiring people to hate black people and they black people. Get aggressive because they aggressive. They're aggressively promoting murder to our people. They're aggressively promoting hate for the black men that hate the black woman. They're aggressively promoting that men can't be fathers. They're you know what I'm saying? So we need to get aggressive. And so we need to take advantage of this Leo energy and get aggressive with the agenda that we own.
That's sure.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've been using that analogy a lot lately too, where it's like, you know, somebody bump you in the shoulder, somebody scuff your shoe, you be ready to turn up. But when it's time to face your shadow work, y'all be getting real scared and acting like you don't got the energy for that. But it's like if somebody tested you out in the street and you ready to fight, where's that energy for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that energy when your inner child is crying and you like, I don't know how to help you, you walking away. Like, but if somebody bump you in the street, you ready to square up.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have that same power for you, and y'all got 3 Leos on this panel too. So it's like you do need to give that power, that solar plexus energy to yourself when it's time for your healing and your shadow work. Don't let your traumas and the things that you've gone through overpower you. That's supposed to be a step to you becoming your wholeness and your greatest version and your greatest aspect of yourself. So when you fold on yourself, but then you stand up to other people, like you can't get mad that you can't get the progress with your own healing because you're only directing that energy outwardly. But it's time for us to start bringing that back within. Like your inner child needs you. Your higher self needs you. Your ego, your shadow, every aspect of you needs you. So redirect that energy. Stop trying to fight your community and the people around you and start bringing that within. Start using that to heal you. Start using that fuel, that fire and that passion to heal you, to love you, to adore you, to empower you.
Sure.
You empowering other people. You thinking you fighting with somebody else is helping you, but really you empowering that person because they're gonna transmute that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're actually deteriorating your own energy that whole time. So redirect it.
I say.
Sure.
I don't know. So I don't know how y'all vibrating. But I'm feeling like it's time to go on transition. But what Nefer Soul just said and what she just did, I feel like it's time to transition into what are we calling this? Let me get the correct name for it. So inner child quantum ritual cleanse is what we're going to call it. And so what I would say is we're definitely about to do a ritual, a meditation, a cleanse. I would say get into a comfortable place, get into an area where you're comfortable, where you can be, you can kind of sit there like, just start like physical comfort, back comfort. Just make sure that you're comfortable. And once after we do this, you can go back and listen to it, or you can do it on your own. Either one, I would suggest doing it in water and to actually speak certain things that are going to be spoken during this meditation out loud, because you will be speaking to the water, and that water frequency is actually going to bring way more power to the cleanse as well. I say Leo energy ain't come to play, not at all, family. So first, and just to let y'all know, this is my first time doing a live guided meditation. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make it happen. This meditation was actually done behind the scenes with the Council of Seven, Dragon Council. You know what I'm saying? Big energy. So it very powerful, and so I definitely can't wait to to see what happens. You know what I mean? So after this meditation, please feel free to put your experiences in the chat. We're definitely going to dialogue about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just know we in this together. So you're not doing it by yourself.
That's sure.
I say. So let's get it, Kai. You can get us started with the imagination exercise.
So this is gonna be a little different from what I normally do. You know what I'm saying? I want to center this one around the full moon, you know what I'm saying, to help us to tap into that energy energetically. You dig what I'm saying? So just a little bit of information before we go into it. A moon is just a crystallized sun. When a sun is just an energy source, so it's eventually going to be depleted of power because it's charging up the children of the sun. So the sun, when it begins depleted of its energy source, it actually shrinks down into what is called a white dwarf star. And then this white dwarf star begins to crystallize from the inside out. And that is where you get your moon from. So what we're going to be doing is creating a moon inside of this imagination technique. So what I would like y'all to do is take a few deep breaths, get yourselves relaxed, and once y'all get y'all deep breaths in, I want y'all to close your eyes. So y'all can go ahead and take y'all deep breaths now. I give y'all a few seconds to do so, and then we're going to tap into the imagination technique. Now, with your eyes closed, I just simply want you to picture the moon as bright as you possibly can picture it, as close as you possibly can feel it. I want you to feel the texture of the moon. I want you to feel the energy coming off this moon. And I want this moon to not only be assimilated to a moon that we see outside of us, but I also want you to make this moon look like a crystal. Now, what I want you to do inside of this moon is to begin to release anything that is holding you back, any type of trauma, any type of pain, anything like that. And I want you to start putting these feelings, emotions, and thoughts inside of this crystal moon. Now, as these thoughts, emotions, and feelings are going inside of this crystal moon, I want you to imagine what these things would look like. So it could be you sending some smoke inside of this moon. It could be you sending a cuss word, you know what I'm saying, a bad thought, a whole experience inside of this moon. And now what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands and I want you to put it on both sides of the moon and I want you to start compressing it. I want you to take this moon and compress it and condense this crystal down into the smallest sun that you can possibly perceive. It could be pea size, it could be the size of a grain of salt, but it shines brighter than what the moon ever would shine. And now what I want you to do is take that small little dot and throw it up in the sky and allow that sun that you just alchemized your energy, your negative energy, your thought forms. I want you to allow that to rain down on you right now for this meditation that King Manifest is going to go into. And once you feel called, take a couple deep breaths, and I want you to come back to your avatar.
Indeed.
I see. How y'all feel about the exercise, family? Is everybody able to connect, able to see? Let's get some type of, comments in the chat. Very powerful exercise. Much gratitude to Kai.
For sure.
Definitely makes it tangible, makes it easier, you know what I mean? And also family owners that you guys know when it comes to meditation, don't overthink meditation, you know, don't overthink it.
Hmm.
My fault, I'm getting this Palo Santo right over here right now.
Is my audio still good?
Hmm. And so Nefer Soul will actually be playing the singing bowls. She is a man, a I don't even know what to call it, but it's an art form for sure in her world that this is definitely something that she's called to do. So she'll be playing the singing bowls while I actually do the meditation. So we're going to be so you have the balance of the divine feminine and divine masculine for this meditation, which is actually powerful as well. Um, what this is what we're going to do. Actually, we're going to start Nefer Soul. You're going to start. I'm going to actually connect with the frequency as well of the singing bowls, and then I'll actually just start the meditation at some point once I feel led to start.
Okay, so what we're gonna do first, everyone has to be open to receiving this energy. Allow me the space to work with your frequency, work with your spirit team, and being open again to receiving. As well as when we're done with all of this, make sure y'all drink plenty of water so you can alchemize the energy because it gets intense real quick. As well as go with the flow with your emotions. Don't hold back. A lot of the times people cry because you're releasing. So just be open. This is your time to release. We're under the Leo full moon, which is ruled by the heart. It's ruled by the solar plexus. So this is your time to shine on making some big changes in stepping into your power, stepping into that love and that frequency, that healing frequency. So let everything that we're doing today really penetrate y'all because we really want to hold this space for y'all to heal, to grow, to get the perspectives and all of that. So be open. Just be open.
And I would say at this time I would start breath work. I would close my eyes. I would even start, connecting with the exercise that Kai just gave and just doing breath work while she played the singing bowls. When she plays it, she's in tune to the point where she's able to connect and tap into different parts of our emotions, our chakra. So understand that everything about this meditation is intentional. Don't run from these feelings. The singing bowl is definitely going to shift some things. So I just want to make sure that we set the tone that it could get uncomfortable, but it's only for growth. I say.
All right, let's go. And we're gonna start with the rain stick since we've been talking about water.
I say. When you pulled it out, I was like, oh, we.
All right, so get into it, get comfortable, sit, lay down, whatever you need to do.
At this time, family, I want you to connect with a memory from your childhood. Doesn't have to be a good memory, doesn't have to be a bad memory. Whatever memory comes up, the first memory that comes to mind, connect with this memory, observe this memory, become one with this memory. Continue to reflect and see this memory until you are in this memory, until you can feel the breeze of the wind if you're outside, until you can actually, hear the conversations, going on in the room. Connect with this memory. As you're connecting with this memory, continue to focus and breathe. Continue to breathe. Inhale, exhale. As you connect with this memory, look at every detail from the floor to the rug, the colors of the couch. Observe every detail. Once you see every part of this room, look for yourself. Observe your inner child. Observe yourself in this moment, in this memory. Walk up to yourself. Now become one with your inner child. How do you do that? Look at it from the perspective of the child now. You were in third person. Now you are one with your inner child. At this moment, analyze the room. Once again, look at everything. Become one with every detail. But now focus more on the people. Focus on your mother. Focus on your father. Focus on your cousin. Focus on any of the people in the room and assess these people. Assess their energy. How does it make you feel? How do they make you feel? How do their actions at this moment make you feel? Do you align with these actions? Do you align with who these people are? Do you see love? Do you see hate? Do you see betrayal? Do you see family? Do you feel alone? Do you feel misunderstood? Do you feel angry? What do you feel when you see these people? Don't look at them in judgment, but accept them for who they are. Not in judgment, but in acceptance. Accept them for who they are. Whatever you see, accept that. If you see someone that you look at as evil or someone that has mistreated you, accept it. Accept it. If you look at them as a leader and someone that was very valuable in your life, accept it and smile. If you feel angry and you need to scream, you need to punch something, scream, release. Be vulnerable with your inner child. Be vulnerable with yourself. Once you go through these emotions, once you fully accept everything in this room, in this memory for what it is, then start to have compassion for them. Start to consider, why are they like this? What made them like this? What love were they missing that made them project this type of love on you? Analyze what could they have been missing? Have compassion. Analyze the same memory, but now with compassion for the people, for your mother, for your father, for the people that abused you, that mistreated you. Look at them as a child. Look at their inner child. See the emptiness. See that y'all are not too far apart and too far different, or just two broken pieces that need to come together. Have compassion. As you have compassion, your heart should be becoming lighter. You should feel light right now. You should be going into a place of smiling, even from the darkest memory, because you understand that they were only projecting the trauma that you have been projecting. You understand that Y'all both got dealt the same hand. You're no greater than them. They're no greater than you. Yet your parents didn't know how to be parents. The people around you didn't know how to love you. But now you're here to love yourself and to show them the love that they couldn't show for you through compassion. At this moment, continue to breathe. And as you're breathing, release it. Release it. Let it go. Let it go, family. Every time that you're blowing out the breath, just imagine it going and leaving you. Feel it leave your heart. Feel your heart become lighter as you breathe, as you blow out. You inhale when you blow out, feel it leaving. Feel the relief through your bones, through your body, through your muscles. Feel the trauma leaving your muscles. If you need to cry and you're crying, feel the release in the water, in the tears. Ashe. Continue to release, family, as you breathe. Once you feel light and you're able to smile, start to come back. Start to, disconnect from the memory and go into your heart space. And you should come back with a smile. Ashe. Ashe.
Oh shit.
I feel really good after that.
Mm-hmm. That's that shade. Very refreshing. Definitely feel lighter.
Yes.
Light as a feather. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yes, feel free to drop y'all testimonies in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Comment on your experiences. Mm-hmm. Big energy. Tap in how you feel, Soul Tribe.
I feel like I could run like 10 laps right now.
Mm-hmm. Highly energized.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel like we made some magic. Like, giving y'all shadow work and the meditations and the sound bowls. Like,
Mm-hmm.
definitely gonna have to run this back myself to tune in. I feel like you at a loss for words, Manifest.
Right.
You just keep like.
Honestly, I don't even feel like I'm supposed to be talking right now. Like, I don't know. I'm still processing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, make sure y'all drinking water after this. You could process the energy because the sound bowls, the energy healing, the meditations, everything is helping you transmute, to move stagnant energy, to open up energies, open up different spaces. So that's why some of y'all gonna start crying when this energy hit, because it's helping hold that space for you to
Mm-hmm.
open up, to release, to feel safe, to feel comfortable. So keep walking into that. So especially once we get off of this, I definitely want y'all to tap into this full moon energy and keep the flow of everything we just helped y'all open up, all the information y'all just downloaded, and just really sink into that.
Mm-hmm.
Really allow yourself to like we said, like we doing this heart space energy. Tap into that.
I'll say. Yeah, we about to close.
So I think we should leave people with what they just experienced, so they can,
I'm
they
thinking
can,
myself too.
yeah, right,
You know,
exactly, facts.
So
Asking that.
much gratitude to the tribe. We definitely once again, appreciate y'all and for being vulnerable to have this experience together. Because understand, as much as time is an illusion, these computers are too. We were all together tonight. So just much gratitude for us coming together and healing together. Much gratitude
Shay.
to Nefer Soul, for always coming on here and being vulnerable and being transparent.
Much gratitude.
Yeah, I didn't got into a very serious place. I probably shouldn't even be on here, not even in a bad way, just like,
It's just powerful.
yeah, like, yeah, how like you're busy doing something and somebody try to talk to you, you kind of feel like they're irritating because they're trying, it's like yeah, very much so. Yeah, I'm grateful, so
Mhm.
so yeah, much gratitude, family. We got the Shadow Work Project, Shadow Realm. Mycelium Healing is out on all platforms. So if you need some vibrations to tap into tonight or tomorrow or whatever while you're doing shadow work, you got that project out there, to tap into, you know. And yeah, we're not even gonna play the outro, no music, none of that. We're not even we just gonna end the live.
On that note,
Yeah.
let those frequencies
Yes.
take us
Much,
out.
much gratitude to everybody thank you to all of y'all for bringing me on here, especially the first episode of the season. Like, gratitude, utmost gratitude.
Much gratitude to you for sharing your talents and your expertise with us.
Anytime.
Mhm.
And big wholeness and peace and prosperity onto everybody who views this as well.
I say. And if you need to
Ashe.
come play it back, you know what I'm saying? It's specifically at the end of the video, so you don't got to do too much scrolling. It's going to be at the end of the video, so definitely tap in. And y'all know the vibes will be live next Sunday. Next Sunday, we have Candace coming back home. We're doing Artificial Love Part 2. So y'all get ready. You know what I mean? So it's definitely up.
Ashe.
I say.
Peace.
All right, peace.